My sister brought her DNA results to Christmas dinner and ruined 3 marriages. Every family has that one person who can't just show up to a holiday with a normal gift. My sister Brooke is that person. Last year, she brought a karaoke machine nobody asked for and made my uncle cry singing My Way by Frank Sinatra. The year before that, she brought a rescue cat without asking, and it attacked the turkey off the counter. Brooke doesn't bring joy to Christmas. She brings chaos and gift wrap. This year, she walked in holding a printed envelope like she was delivering a verdict. She kissed Mom on the cheek, put a bottle of wine on the counter, and said, I have a surprise for everyone after dinner. My dad said, please tell me it's not another cat. It was not another cat. It was worse. We made it through dinner. Turkey was good. Mom's mac and cheese was perfect. Everything was calm. Grandma was on her second glass of wine telling a story about 1974 that nobody asked for but everyone enjoyed. Normal Christmas, safe Christmas. Then Brooke stood up. Okay, so a few weeks ago, I took a 23andMe test because I wanted to learn about our ancestry, and I got the results back, and I think everyone's going to find this really interesting. My dad muttered, oh boy, he didn't know how right he was. She unfolded the paper. So we are 42% Irish, which makes sense. 23% German, which also makes sense. But here's the fun part. She looked up smiling. We're 14% Italian. The table went quiet. Not fun quiet. The kind of quiet where forks stop midair and someone's eye twitches. My mom, the woman with a shamrock tattooed on her ankle, the woman who has said we're Irish through and through at every family event since 1996, was suddenly very focused on her green beans. My dad looked at her. Italian. Nobody in this family is Italian. Mom said, these tests are unreliable. I read an article. Brooke said, they're 99.9% accurate, Dad. I double-checked. She double-checked. She peer-reviewed Christmas dinner. My Uncle Rob laughed from across the table. Maybe the mailman was Italian. He thought it was funny. His wife, Aunt Linda, did not think it was funny. Aunt Linda put her fork down and stared at Uncle Rob with a face I have never seen at Christmas or any other day. Why is that the first place your mind goes, Robert? It's a joke, Linda. It's a very specific joke, Robert. That was the first marriage in trouble, and Brooke hadn't even flipped the page yet. Brooke continued. But here's the really interesting part. The test found a half-sibling match. Someone named Roberto lives in New Jersey. The table didn't just go quiet. The table died. The table was a crime scene. My dad said, a half-sibling? What does that mean? Brooke said, it means one of our parents has another child. Every single person at that table looked at my mother. My mother looked at the ceiling like it had answers. The ceiling did not have answers. My dad said, Claire? My mom said, I have no idea what she's talking about. Aunt Linda said, oh, someone knows. Someone at this table knows. Uncle Rob said, Linda, relax. Don't tell me to relax, Robert. You went to New Jersey for work in 2006. You hate New Jersey. I went for a conference. Nobody has conferences in New Jersey. That was the second marriage cracking open, and we hadn't even gotten to dessert. My cousin Megan, who had been silent this entire time, suddenly said, wait, if Roberto is a half-sibling to Brooke, that means he shares a parent with Brooke, which means it's either Uncle Dean or Aunt Claire. Everyone looked at my dad. My dad looked at my mom. My mom was now fully committed to staring at the ceiling. My Aunt Susan, who was married to my dad's brother Paul, said quietly, Paul also traveled a lot in the early 2000s. Paul choked on his wine. Susan, what are you implying? I'm not implying anything. I'm stating that you had a lot of business trips and came home smelling different. I changed cologne. You changed cologne 4 times in 1 year, Paul. That was the third marriage detonating, and Brooke was standing there holding her paper like she just read a really fun recipe. My dad stood up. Everyone stop. Nobody in this family has a secret child in New Jersey. Grandma hadn't said a word the entire time. She'd been eating her dinner steadily through every accusation. Turkey, mac and cheese, a roll, another roll. She was on her third glass of wine and completely unbothered while 3 marriages collapsed around her. She set down her fork, dabbed her mouth with a napkin, looked up at a table full of adults who were all accusing each other of secret families. Roberto is your grandfather's son from before we were married, 1971. I've known since 1972. He sends a card every year. Nice man, works in insurance. The table was silent for a full 10 seconds. My dad said, you've known for 50 years? 52. And you never said anything? She picked her fork back up. Nobody asked. Uncle Rob said, so I'm cleared? Aunt Linda said, we're still talking about New Jersey, Robert. Uncle Paul said, Susan, do you believe me now? Aunt Susan said, I believe Grandma. I don't believe your cologne story. Brooke sat down and whispered to me, I thought this would be fun. It was not fun. 3 couples drove home in silence that night. Grandma took the leftover turkey and asked if anyone wanted to play cards. Uncle Rob slept at a hotel for 2 nights over New Jersey. Aunt Susan still brings out a cologne at every family event. My mom eventually admitted she already knew about Roberto and didn't think it was a big deal. My dad didn't speak to her for a week because she kept a 50-year family secret and shrugged about it. Brooke is banned from bringing surprises to Christmas. She's already bought an Ancestry DNA kit for Easter. My dad has asked me to hide it. I will not be hiding it. Some things are too entertaining to stop. Grandma still gets a card from Roberto every year. She sends one back. Nobody else in the family has contacted him, but I did, quietly. He's a nice guy. Works in insurance, just like Grandma said. He asked if we're always like this at holidays. I said only when Brooke brings paper.